You know that moment when everything seems to go perfectly, but then one tiny thing goes wrong and suddenly you're in a panic? That was me a few months ago in the airport, staring at the gate number for my connecting flight. I had just finished a 12-hour journey. I was exhausted. My brain was foggy from all the time zones, and I thought everything would be fine. I had a buffer time between my flights, a little extra cushion to account for delays. But of course, the universe had other plans. The first leg of my flight was delayed, and not just a few minutes, but an hour. By the time I landed, I was already watching the clock, calculating in my head whether I could make it. I rushed off the plane, practically running down the terminal with my carry-on bag, praying that I'd catch the last call. But you know that feeling when you hit the gate and realize it's already closed? You're too late. Your stomach drops, and in that moment, every thought floods your brain: frustration, confusion, anger. You start mentally calculating what's next. How much is this going to cost me? Will they rebook me? Will I get stuck here for hours? Will I have to pay for another night in a hotel? My trip was only just beginning, and here I was, stuck in an airport I didn't know, far from where I was supposed to be. I'm sure many of you have felt that. The worst part? I had zero idea what my next move should be. That's when it hit me. I remembered something I had almost forgotten about in the whirlwind of planning my trip: my travel insurance. To be honest, I almost didn't get it. It seemed like an extra cost at the time, something I thought I could skip because, well, nothing was supposed to go wrong, right? But now, standing there, I was starting to realize that maybe I wasn't so smart after all. I called the insurance company, not really expecting much. I was fully prepared for a long wait, a series of complicated terms, and maybe even being put on hold for hours. But no, within minutes, I had a real person on the phone. A kind person, a helpful person. I explained the situation, and after just a few questions, they were already getting to work on a solution. They had me rebooked within the hour, and not only that, they covered all the costs of the change. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I'd been prepared to pay a ton of extra fees to get back on track, but this unexpected safety net had stepped in and saved me. I didn't have to worry about spending a night in the airport or losing a whole day of my trip. And honestly, at that moment, I knew I'd never travel without insurance again. It wasn't just a lifeline for my trip. It was a wake-up call about how unprepared I would have been without it. If you're anything like me, you might have thought, oh, I'll be fine without travel insurance. What are the odds something will go wrong? Trust me, that's exactly what I thought. But the truth is, life happens, and when it does, it can catch you off guard, especially when you're traveling. Now, here's the twist. The best part? After all the stress and confusion of dealing with missed flights, the real relief was knowing that I didn't have to figure everything out on my own. I had someone in my corner, and that's something you don't always think about when booking your trip. If there's one tip I can share with you, it's this. Don't skip on travel insurance. It doesn't just cover medical emergencies. It's a buffer for life's little mishaps like missed flights, cancellations, and delays. And in case you're wondering, I personally use auras.insure. It's the travel insurance I actually use and I genuinely trust. It saved me a lot of headache, and honestly, I'd recommend it to anyone. It's not about selling you something. It's about sharing a hack that can make a huge difference when things go sideways. I've learned the hard way that it's worth having that peace of mind before your next trip. You can find the link to auras.insure in the description, but whatever you decide to go with, just make sure you've got something in place. Trust me, you'll thank yourself if things go sideways. Because life doesn't always go as planned, but travel insurance can make it a whole lot easier to get back on track.